All right, folks. As we come to the conclusion, again, I don't know if I need to reintroduce myself. Ramesh Koluru from UL Lafayette. But I want to tell you that as we come to the conclusion of these magical 2 days, it is now my opportunity to take a moment and thank all the coders and mentors for your participation and your commitment to this cause. I saw some presentations. I met with some of the coders late last night at midnight when 6th graders talked to you about predictive models and heat maps. Your faith in humanity is restored. So I saw some of these presentations, and as those were being made earlier this afternoon, and I'm sure the judges were pulling their hair. So please, let's give a round of applause for all the judges. And all of the participants who came from across Acadiana, across the state, and from across the nation, particularly the middle and high school participants and their parents. The Lafayette Parish School System has been an extraordinary partner, so Dr. Shauna LeBlanc and all of the teachers that worked with the students throughout the night. We couldn't be more grateful for the passion that you have in engaging and inspiring these young ones, because truly these are the folks who will be the ones that solve any number of issues that we face as a society, including this opioid epidemic. So thank you to the teachers and to all the mentors who stayed up with the teams and the roaming mentors. I saw some of my staff members and colleagues from across the university that were working throughout the night, and several unofficial mentors who pitched in to just help. That's the community coming together. And as we discussed yesterday, it'll take an all hands on deck, the entire community to come together to truly move the needle on these solutions. Alex, Rich, and John Conan, who won the HHS Hackathon in December of 2017. A good Raging Cajun welcome to you, and we hope to see you around, and we hope to see a great company grow in Lafayette, Louisiana. Again, I cannot stop selling Lafayette, so I apologize if I'm doing it for the 15th time in the last 2 hours or so, but come to Lafayette. That's count number 16. All right. I would like to thank Senator Cassidy and his staff who were here yesterday, Secretary Rebecca Gee, and the entirety of the Louisiana Department of Health team. Pete, thank you so much for your continued engagement and partnership. Bruce and Mona. Mona, you know how to make an entrance, don't you? And the entire Health and Human Services colleagues and partnership. Dr. Carrie Castile and the USDA staff for their participation and support in the summit, in the roundtable, in the hackathon, and the weeks and the months that preceded in terms of planning. So thank you, Bruce, thank you so much. Likewise, at this moment, I want to, yes, let's go applaud them when I say thank you. That's the right thing to do. Likewise, I would like to acknowledge the contributions and support of summit sponsors, and you see all of them. But Lafayette General Health, CN, and your entire team has stayed engaged throughout this process. CGI, Will Labar, LHC Group, and the entire leadership team that has invested itself into working with us. Max Hart and Casey for hosting and partnering with us throughout this process. Summit co-sponsors, Daryl, I don't know where's Daryl, Daryl Doisy, from Oceans Healthcare, and Cajun Court Fest sponsors, including Oak Ridge Associated Universities, Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Louisiana, especially Dr. Larry Simon, who served as a judge this afternoon. Thank you so much. Is it Simon or Simon? Thank you. That's what I was hoping it would be, but Larry Simon. All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Acadian companies, One Acadiana, and Leader. Please join me in thanking them. And I heard that late last night, waiter delivered $1,000 worth of food. Anyone that feeds and caffeinates coders throughout a night like this has a special place in heaven. So please join me in thanking all of the sponsors. And I also want to give a special shout out to Socrata, especially Matt Holler, because the infrastructure and the data support that you provided, US Ignite, Scott Turnbull, US Health and Human Services, I've already acknowledged. AOC, who has stayed engaged throughout this process in videotaping and recording the summit and the presentations. Golfballs.com for their support. Maxoid, of course, for sponsoring. And I want to take, before I turn it over to Henry for the main event, who will steal from me the privilege and the honor of introduce Congressman Higgins, I would like to take a moment to thank Henry and the entirety of the Informatics Research Institute team for their vision and leadership in pulling this event together. Truly, you've been extraordinary champions. So Henry, Matt, Travis, Andrea, Sally, Gian, Mike, and all the others who have made extraordinary, exemplary investments of your time into making this possible. And I also want to give a shout out to Heather Bowie and Karen Lawson from USDA, who worked with me and Carrie in the logistics and getting us out at 4 or 4:30 in the morning and 5 a.m. on to have my face on TV, which was not really a pretty sight for people in Acadiana to wake up to, but hey, we do what we need to. So thank you all. So please join me in giving everyone a round of applause. And while I can't promise that I'll be more pleasant to colleagues in my office, I want to, because of the stress of these past few weeks, I've been driving them crazy. I don't know where Dr. Jack D'Amico is, my Assistant Vice President for Research, Monique, Tatum, Jessica, Catherine, and all of the folks from the research office who have been on all hands on deck. I saw Kit, one of the mentors who was roaming around as a volunteer to help mentor the students. It is, as we discussed yesterday, this is what it will take, an entire community together, rallying behind one shared purpose and vision, and that is that we'll align all of the resources and the assets of the university and the community in solving problems like this. So, I see Reese here, so a special shout out to Reese and Paul, Adam, and Ashish, who have been working on data as well as on being the folks to run this entire event and making this possible. So with that, I'll step aside. But before I step aside, I want to do two things. I want to call on Bruce to come say a few words, and Carrie, I'll give you a moment to prep. So Bruce, come on over. As a partner, as a colleague, USDA and HHS have been integrally involved in visioning this and in taking this forward. So over to you, my friend.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Who has not slept more than, say, 4 hours in the last night? And I could smell it, too. It's great. So the real...
You're going to say you stink?
So I have to tell a quick story, and it's funny because it's a badge of honor. And in fact, I'm looking to see if our guys are here from the Codathon. Here we go. So I don't mean to embarrass you on this. No. You're not. Oh, actually, come on up. Come on up.
It smells now too.
Wait.
I don't think I smell that much better than I did in December.
Wait.
So.
You don't have a hotel room? So what we did, this whole thing kicked off. Let's say sometime we started up focusing on addressing the opioid epidemic in Washington, D.C. At HHS early in 2017. And the secretary was very set to make sure that every leader in the department knew that everyone had a responsibility. So if you run the mental health agency, you clearly know what you need to do. If you run CDC, if you run Medicaid and Medicare, there are dedicated programs that we employ and focus completely on addressing the opioid epidemic. But when it comes down to the chief technology officer, you might say, well, what's your role? And the secretary looked at me and said, you don't escape this. You need to figure out what to do as well. And we know, all of us here, we're all part of the data and technology community. We know that in data lies answers to produce better solutions. We know that data can save lives. So we started this process, and we had a Codathon in December of last year, and it was big. We had some of the best universities in the world there: Harvard, Yale, MIT, Stanford, ULL, all together. Oh, yeah, whatever, North Carolina. You didn't make it to the top 5. But you know, URL and MIT together was really a sight to see. So we had 51 teams that came in, split up between universities and a couple of these small companies, some startups like Google, Facebook, Microsoft that were there as well, producing very, very high quality solutions. And we had 3 tracks and we awarded winners. And so we did this in the headquarters of HHS. This is the world's largest government agency, period. $1.185 trillion spend. No one had ever seen people spend the night working on computers in the middle of the Great Hall. So for the security people, for the people that leave late, people that come early, it was quite a sight to see. Nonetheless, and I'm getting to the point now. So we have the winners up on stage. And Dr. Mona Siddiqui, who ran this Codathon, it was really her creation, was doing the awardees. And so for I think it was the second track on treatment, was it? Usage. At any rate, this team comes up and we're taking pictures with everyone. And you know, everyone had been there all night. We got coffee for everyone at about 12:30. Pizza kept coming in throughout the night, like a real Codathon. So these guys come up on stage and Mona's there. Everybody's got their arms around each other to take a picture. And Mona says, "God, someone stinks." And everyone started laughing. So that's when we know, like, this is a real Codathon when it's like that.
Mona, would you clap? Please stand and be recognized.
So just know, if you didn't shower last night because you were here coding all night and you don't smell that great, try not to stand next to her when we do pictures. But reality, the reality is this. This is a great event where we showcase young people and bright minds together. But it's a somber event because we're here to try to address the worst public health crisis that we've faced, at least in my lifetime. More people are dying this year from opioid overdoses than the highest point of car wrecks, AIDS, gun violence. This is a very serious public policy and public health problem. And what we're doing today is the beginning of leading to solutions that save lives. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart and from Washington, D.C. and from HHS for the work that you've done. Today is going to be great. We have an exceptional congressman that understands the issues and cares about his hometown and the country more than anybody that I've worked with in Congress lately, and it's really, really refreshing and nice to see. So you're in for a treat for some remarks. And then I don't know who won yet. I didn't do the judging, and I'm really looking forward to see who the winners are. So again, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for the time that you've put into this, and know that the work that you're doing here, I could tell you, will affect and save lives in the future. Thank you.
As always, Bruce delivers. Thank you so much, Bruce. Dr. Carrie Castile, please follow that.
Yeah, right. So I know I am standing in between you and the award, so I'm just going to say 2 very, very quick things.
Take your time, take your time.
I can take my time? So, but it stinks, right? So anyway, so number 1, we had a conversation late last night with Washington, D.C. And so I will tell you, I took this all the way up to Secretary Perdue. And he sends his greetings. He also sends his congratulations on such a great task. I know it's hard, but the solutions are hard. We had hard conversations yesterday, and I just can't believe how much progress we made just acknowledging the issue and acknowledging that we need to identify solutions and that we also need the people that are in recovery to be part of the solution. So what great momentum, what great discoveries we had, and I'm sure today is just going to be the culmination of this. So the last thing that I want to say is of course, I'm from Brobridge, so I will say you have a partner and a commitment from USDA in the national office. You have a partner and a commitment from USDA in Louisiana, and you have a partner and a commitment from me here in Brobridge or Lafayette as a UL alumni. I could not be more proud of what has been accomplished here. I couldn't be more proud of the team, and so thank you very much. Congratulations to the winner.
Thank you, Carrie, and congratulations to all of you for participating in it. And as I turn it over to Henry, I know Bruce said something that I would have said about Congressman Higgins, and over the past year or so that I have gotten to know you and I've gotten to work with you, I can tell you your humility, your wisdom, your understanding of issues, your commitment to improving the region, improving the nation are exemplary. And it is an honor for me to call you a friend and to have you as our congressman leading our community and bringing great ideas that you believe that we can be a part of in our community as a university to help impact and to help improve our national security, our national resiliency to any number of issues. So in Congressman Higgins, we have a great ally and a partner, and I'm humbled as I turn it over to Henry to officially introduce you.
Thank you, Ramesh. So this way, if I walk over here, you have to turn this way. It exercises your neck. It's good, healthy. It's my great honor to introduce to you Congressman Higgins. The Honorable Mr. Clay Higgins represents Louisiana's 3rd District. Raised near Covington, Mr. Higgins' South Louisiana roots run deep. In the House of Representatives, Mr. Higgins is a member of House Science and Technology Committee, House Veterans Affairs Committee, and House Homeland Security Committee. The concerns of all 3 committees touch on the theme of our challenge, which is to use data and technologies to So as a side note, never fold up your notes. And the problem is this is like old technology, right? Papyrus. To use data and technologies to prevent, treat, and support recovery from substance use disorder. So from his unique perspective as a veteran and decorated law enforcement officer, and as a legislative leader at the national level, Congressman Higgins will now share his wisdom with us on the fight against opioids. Would you please join me in welcoming Congressman Higgins?
Thank you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to address you, and I will be brief. You young Americans across the room, it's so inspiring just to be amongst you and to consider the work that you do in service of our fellow man. That's exactly what you're doing. You're serving our fellow man. Opioids, addiction, and impacts, it knows no boundaries regarding color or creed, ethnicity, or background. It doesn't matter where you lie upon the economic strata or what your political affiliation is or your religious beliefs. Opioids destroy lives. I bring you to the summer of 2008, almost 10 years ago. As a patrol officer, I paid attention to the zone that I worked, and I noticed who moves in and who moves out. As a community police officer, part of that interaction calls for greeting folks that would move into the community. So a young family moves into my patrol zone, moves into a trailer. When they're in the process of moving in, I stop and introduce myself. There's a mother. She's a young woman, 50 or so. She's got a young daughter, probably about 20, and a grandchild. That's just a wee thing. She's got a beautiful dog, and it's a happy family. This was the summer of 2008. Throughout that fall, I responded to several complaints at that address of disturbances. The story was always the same. It was an argument between mother and daughter. Eventually, it became clear that Lortabs was a problem within the house. Through the course of that year, things got worse. By the spring of the following year, the daughter moved out. By that summer, that home was a regular stop on my patrol, and I watched as the life of this mother spiraled down and out of control. I pled with her. I prayed with her. She wept. She recognized that she was addicted. We discussed help, but none of it worked. That summer, I took her dog away from her. It was within my rights as an officer, within the parameters of statutes that protect animals. Her dog, I had warned her in the past. She began to neglect her dog. Her dog got skinny. And one very hot summer day, I took the dog off of its very short chain where it had no water and no food. We brought it to our shelter where we found a home for it. That was our practice. Found a home for the dog. I told the people that took the dog a couple of days later that if this young lady ever recovered, then she'd be able to get her dog back if that was her wish. In December of 2009, we got a call from the daughter. She couldn't reach her mom. She was worried. I went there. I was working that night. The lights were off. I checked the meter. The meter was off. She had no electricity. It was very cold. There was no response at the door. I forced entry. There she was on the sofa, bundled up, in a home that was completely disheveled. In the kitchen was rotten food. And there she lay, this 51-year-old beautiful American, gone because of opioids. And it occurred to me as I prayed for her and called EMS, contacted the coroner, began photographing the scene and documenting what I observed, preparing my report. It occurred to me that it was within my authority to save this American's dog, but it wasn't within my authority to save the woman herself. To respond to the scourge of opioids calls for a spiritual movement, the kind of cultural change that exists within this room, within the hearts and minds and souls of the young folks here, within the will of the Americans that guide them, your creativity, your intellect, spurred on by your desire to serve your fellow man. So please know that your impact will be far-reaching, that the skills that you bring to the table in the battle against opioid addiction will reverberate and impact real homes across our nation where families live and where sometimes good people die. So thank you for the work that you've done these last couple of days, and know that you're loved and respected, admired. We stand in awe. My friend Ramesh and I we couldn't believe that he had a conversation with a sixth grader about predictive modeling and geospatial mapping. This is the kind of passion, man, that we need as a nation to respond to the opioid crisis that we suffer. And you young Americans represent the very, very best that our country has to offer in this battle. So I thank you very much for allowing me to address you today. God bless you one and all for the work that you do and the future that you present. Thank you.
So we now come to the part where we hand out the awards. But before we do that, Matt, you want to say a few words about the hackathon that comes up? So since we are so enthused about hackathons, in 2 weeks is Festival International. It's the largest free Francophone music festival in the world, and it will not be a festival without coding.
Thanks, Henry. I think they're tired of hearing my voice over the past 30 hours. So just one last reminder, we've been having it scrolling on the LUS Fiber Smart City Challenge that'll be happening at the Science Museum on Thursday, the 26th and the 27th. Each of you all will receive an email with more details on that event. So it'll be coming to you. So if you're interested, you can respond to that email.
Thank you, Matt. Matt, please sit down. And Ms. Sally, you may want to take a seat. So we've had a very good collaboration with Bruce and Mona from the CTO office of HHS. So I like to think of the December event as Cajun Code Fest 5.9, right? So we're at Cajun Code Fest 6.0. And I'm pleased to, especially for Andrea, Matt, and Ms. Sally, to know that Cajun Code Fest 6.5 is coming in 3 weeks. I'm not kidding. This will be Cajun Code Fest goes on the road. It'll be in Las Vegas, May 5th and May 6th. And it's actually a much bigger hackathon on health. There are 6 challenges. There are 5 little ones, and the HHS CTO challenge. That one is on combating opioid crisis, and there are 3 tracks: treatment, usage, and prevention. So if you're interested, we will send you information. This is not a joke. There is Cajun Code Fest 6.5. Andrea is staring at me now. Right. We code for crawfish. We don't care about cash, right? Sad to say they don't have crawfish. They don't have the 500 pounds of crawfish that we have. So Cajun Code Fest 6.5. And it starts on Saturday, May 5th at 11 a.m. Coding begins and it ends 24 hours later on Sunday, May 6th. And then there's demo deliberation and awards to follow. And I hope that the award guy doesn't drag things on as long as I do. So we are ready to hand out the checks. So we have a good number of checks to hand out. Well, the first one is not checks, sorry. It's a K-12 student winners, and they get actual iPads. Congressman, would you do the honor of?
At your service.
Okay. Team number 11, My Pills. Come on up. Maybe you can all take a picture together. Congratulations, go on. So you're from Como High?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
One
Congratulations.
of the students had to leave. Thank you.
Okay.
Sally, one of the students.
So
We have iPads for these guys, right?
So Team 11, My Pills, is from Como High School. And the teacher is Ms. Lisa Radney. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. In the university student category, I'd like to have Bruce help us. Yeah, sure. Team 15, Team Comp. So maybe.
Before y'all go, so what is the app solution for? Can we have a microphone? Just take 2 minutes to say what you guys created.
Hello. Just a quick general overview. Our application was kind of a different focus than a normal approach, and it's also a very gray area approach, where we give people the tools they need and provide a very simple, very minimal interface for people to essentially do self-care based plans, what's called tapering, where people slowly reduce the dosage of any sort of narcotics or opioids they might be taking. And we use data based off, so different types of medications with different underlying opioids. We found different data on how to decrease amounts for that, and we, based off what people currently take and their trends with that, we suggest certain things like maybe this medication, they might reduce it by 20% every 7 days, and we'll also give them the opportunity to, at their own pace, whenever they feel like it, keep track of all of their doses they ever take and have the chance to slightly reduce it, and it's all private to them. And it's just up to them to do it, and they don't have to approach people, because it can be really hard for people in those situations to just mention to somebody else, let alone seek professional help.
Thank you. Dr. Castile. Dr. Castile. Would you join us for the next winner? So it turns out, yes. I was told there was a tie in the university student winner. So if you're from the university, that doesn't mean that you didn't get your check. If you are team 16, constant Boolean winner equals true. So they are a tie for the winner in the university student category. So winning speech.
So what we did was a heuristic-based approach to mapping treatment centers, potential treatment centers for development. And the idea was that we would take opioid overdosage, fatal overdosage data, and determine problematic areas and see where we need to develop more treatment facilities. And we would do that by using a heuristic function to weight the amount of people who are dying in that area versus the amount of facilities. So that way we can identify areas that are more likely to benefit from having a treatment center developed rather than other areas to prevent overcrowding of facilities in very dense populated areas.
If you all can stay for a few more minutes. So there's a team favorite award which was voted on by all of you. And I'm pleased to report that the team favorite is Team 16. That's right. Congratulations. 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 Can you join us for the next one? Just Dr. Castillo. Bruce, Congressman, want to join us? So now for the overall winner. Representing the best and the brightest of our future, from Como High, Team 11, Pills. They are the overall winner of the Cajun Code Fest 6.
Did they know before now?
No.
They're finding out now.
For the first time in the history of Cajun Code Fest, a student team winning the overall prize.
Take that, old people.
Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, brother. You guys did it. Come on, this is your show. Come on, guys. Come on, get in there. Behind that thing. I'll come down the side. There you go. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on. This will be the time when you tell us what was your app, what was the solution.
Oh, I'm not the team lead. I'm the mentor. You want me to say?
Right.
Who wants to talk? You want me to talk?
It's okay.
I'll talk.
Yeah.
So, as you all know, our app, I don't want to hold this. Someone hold the money. Our app was called My Pills. It is a live real-time tracker. So it specifically, we focused on the usage. We focused on the at-risk populations, which are people that get prescribed pain medications, because if they do not properly manage the medications they take, they can easily become addicted to some of these substances. So what our app did was it allowed users to enter in their prescriptions, and it connected to the National Drug Code Directory. Thank you. In that database, it has a separate column where the FDA assigns it classifies each drug, and it has opioid classifies. So when you enter the prescription of the drug you have, if it's an opioid, it gets added to a live tracker where it calculates the dosage that you're taking along with the strength of the active ingredients in it to kind of generate like a time block, like this kind of pill. If this is how strong it is and how much you're taking, you can only take it like once every 12 hours. If you take it within that time frame, you're increasing the likelihood that you can become addicted to the substance, right? Because of how strong it is. So it's a live tracker, so it continually decreases over time. When the bar is completely gone, that means you can safely take another pill because the concentration in your body is like insignificant enough so that you cannot form addiction to it, hopefully. And yeah, it's kind of a way to help people monitor how much they're taking, right? Because sometimes you have a simple surgery, you need to take lower tabs for like 4 or 5 days, your doctor gives you a script for 30 days. See, people are like, oh, I need all these pills, let me take all these pills. So we're trying to mitigate that. Most people are unaware of exactly what a lot of the medications they are prescribed actually do, especially how they interact with each other. So we're trying to help address that, right? Try to raise awareness for all that stuff. Yeah, My Pills. Come on high. Come on high. Who wants this? Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. So Como High will get a banner to hang and get the bragging rights. If you ever get a chance, join. If you get a chance, join the hackathon in the Festival International. If you want to work on health, come to Cajun Code Fest 6.5. If not, we'll see you again in 7.0. Thank you all.